Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends of classical archives, my name is Jan Sibelius, and I was born in 1865 in the small Finnish town of Hämeenlinna. In those days, Finland was still finding its voice, politically, culturally, spiritually. Perhaps that is why I felt such a profound need to listen to the silence around me, to the forests and lakes, and shape that atmosphere into music. It was as if the land itself spoke in long lines, shifting harmonies and distant horns. I began my musical life with the violin, dreaming, as many young musicians do, of becoming a virtuoso. But fate led me instead toward composition, and eventually to Vienna and Berlin, where I studied and encountered ideas far larger than myself. During those years I had meaningful exchanges with composers like Gustav Mahler, whose intensity and restless searching left a lasting impression on me, even as we followed very different paths. I also admired the craft of Richard Strauss, whose boldness and orchestral command were the talk of Europe. These meetings did not shape my style directly, but they reminded me that each composer must write from the essence of his own nature. For me, that essence was Finland, its legends, its landscapes, its fragile hope for independence. Works such as En Saga, The Swan of Tuonela, and Finlandia were woven from the threads of our national epic, the Kalevala, and from the quiet determination of a people longing to stand tall. I never set out to become a national symbol, but perhaps such things happen when one writes honestly. Across the decades, I returned again and again to the symphony, 7 in total, each a different attempt to refine form, atmosphere, and expression. Some listeners heard them as snowy landscapes, others as inner journeys. I thought of them simply as attempts to distill music to its most essential truth. The 7th Symphony, compressed into a single continuous movement, was perhaps the closest I came to expressing the unity I sought. After completing the Tapiola tone poem, a silence gradually settled over my composing desk. I lived many years thereafter at my home, Ainola, surrounded by trees that whispered through seasons of great peace and occasional doubt. The world changed, Finland changed, and I aged quietly as orchestras continued to breathe life into the music I had already written. In 1957, in Järvenpää, my long journey came to its natural close. But the landscapes that shaped me remain, and the sound of the wind through the pines is still, I believe, the greatest symphony of all. Thank you for listening.